Good evening. What day is this? Thursday.
Thursday.
Welcome to the Detox Divas. My name is Miriam Kareem, and I'm super happy to have you all here for our second part two series of Reset Like a Champ with Troy Monroe. Super, super excited to have you here, Troy, and we are going to get started. My name is Miriam Kareem. I'm a wife, mom, cat granny, and a fiber artist who's passionate about helping people feel their best inside and out. As a member and co-hostess of the Detox Divas, I love sharing simple ways to support your health naturally, especially weight release, as I know from experience how powerful that journey can be. And I would like to introduce you all to our CEO, co-CEOs, Paula Scarcella, who is our owner, and Ben Scarcella is our vice president. Um, we love sharing the synergistic healing trilogy products from formulated with the healing power of plants provided by our creator. We are purpose driven at Heart and Body Naturals. We genuinely care about helping people. We want to build an extraordinary company that makes a positive difference in the health of people throughout the world with products that we stand behind with a 60-day buy and try guarantee. All of our products are farm direct. We source and purchase pristine, nutritionally rich, organic, and GMO-free ingredients directly from farmers without the interference of middle agents. This results in the best price for you, our customer, and a fair profit for the farmers who lovingly grow and harvest their crops. We have a pure plant promise. Quality ingredients begin with pure ingredients. Pure raw ingredients, Heart and Body Naturals research and development team sources the most potent ingredients from all corners of the globe for their potential health benefits. And I would like to introduce you to our formulator, Alexandria Brighton. She is a world-renowned formulator with over 30 years of expertise in Ayurvedic medicine, herbalism, and aromatherapy. Her journey began in the 1970s and has grown into a legacy of over 100 therapeutic blends celebrated for their purity, safety, and results. One of the things that I love about Alexandria Brighton is that whenever she creates a formulation, she does it with intention for a specific purpose. So you are getting the top notch, best of the best formulations. And I would like to state a disclaimer. This presentation is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to replace the advice of qualified, certified medical professionals. The Heart and Body Naturals, the presenter, the Detox Divas, do not endorse, promote, or recommend any specific products, treatments, or therapies for health purposes. Statements in this presentation have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The products and information discussed in this presentation are not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease or illness. Please consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your lifestyle, your supplement use, prescription drug use, or exercise activities. Reliance on any information provided in this presentation is solely at your own risk. Always conduct thorough research and consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new health regimen. And now I'd like to introduce you to Troy Monroe. He is the CEO at Well Fit for Life, an HBN consultant, a physical trainer, a life extension expert, and an influencer. And I would just want to say, Troy has helped me so much in my weight release journey, just an overall health and explaining things to me in a way that I understand them and can relate to my life. So, Troy Monroe, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay,
And
let's go.
all right, all right. Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. And um, shout out to Miriam, who has been a person who has reflected the values of what HBN stands for, and not only reflected, but has benefited from all the aspects of what uh, Alexandria Brighton's vision for health is. When you lose 100 pounds, that's a huge milestone. It's just huge. And it's a testament to simply her coming into alignment with her body, which is basically what we're talking about with the GPO1 system, is just bringing back to the body the things that the body can use to build your health better. Okay. One of the things that I teach is that the body is self-healing. If we give the body the right food, fuel tools, you want to write that down. Food, fuel tools. I'll say it again. Food, fuel tools, because that is all food is. It is a organic tool that the body can use to build the cell, build the tissue, build the organs, cleanse the system out, uh, and literally regenerate. You know, the body regenerates so many months as we go throughout the year, and every 7 years you have a completely new body. You're not even thinking about that, but that is exactly what your body's doing, and it's been doing it before we were even conscious. Okay, there's a scripture verse that says the Bible that the body is fearfully and wonderfully made, and when we're looking at what GPL1 does, what insulin does for us, and what the pancreas does for us, what the cells are doing with digestion, it's all just packed in there so we can see it for what it is. I want to real quickly go over the actual products that that we're using in this GLP-1 system. 1 second here, let me move to my screen. Okay. Actually, let's give a quick recap from last week. Marcus posted this last week, and I decided to throw it in really quick before the meeting started last week. And it says the best kept secret in medicine is that the body heals itself if we create the right conditions and stop doing the things that cause the sickness in the first place. So that's the thing that all of us have to deal with at some point. Yeah, we're bringing in the good stuff, but are we abandoning and moving away from the things that cause us the problems? Okay, most of our physical problems is not a genetic thing. It's something that is created by lifestyle. Just like when you go in the gym and you work out, well, you can't catch health and muscles by standing next to somebody, right? You got to work for that. And when you work for that, then you get the results, right? I'm someone that's been benefited from that. And it's the same with health. If you don't put in the work to nourish yourself, then what's going to happen is anything the body lacks is going to the organs will start to fail, and you're going to move into sickness. Okay. And so, but again, nothing heals you. The body is self-healing. You just have to stop doing the things that cause the sickness. Part one highlights, we explored how the products support metabolism, blood sugar, and energy. And I just want to step in real quick on that. You know, we got the glucoprotect, you know, and what's happening with that. I hope those of you who are listening have gotten your products and you have been using it. I hope you're getting great results. For me, my testimony is on these products is that for the last 2.5 weeks, I have a couple of businesses, and one of them is a landscaping business, which I engage in during the spring and summer and fall. And usually I'll do like 2 lawns a day. And so what I figured was I'm going to put everything else aside except vitality and just focus on the GPO1 system and see how my energy levels do. And so get up in the morning, go to the job, got my drink, my tea, got my formula in there. And I'm going to see how this thing affects me as far as my energy levels go. Every single day I went out, to make a long story short, I had no cravings. I had full energy. I'm pulling, lifting, pushing, cutting, mowing, just doing everything. You know, in some places I was actually doing actual mulch replacement in some lawns. And I'm doing this all by myself. I'm telling you for a fact that at the end of the day, from start to finish, I had not one craving for food. I was thirsty, but I wasn't hungry. And then when I got back home, okay, I still wasn't hungry. Got on Facebook Live and started working out and working with my weights after doing a full day's laborious job doing landscaping all by myself. So do the products work and deliver? Yes. And I have to say there's a slight edge that this formula is creating for us in terms of providing for the body the fuel it needs. And that's been my experience. So the energy is just off the chain. Slimmer Pro, going over that real quick. Um, we know with all the ingredients that are in that, it's formulated to support fat loss. I've lost about 10 pounds during the last 2 weeks. Digestion, healthy metabolism. And then, of course, we know the Glucose Protect, it promotes balancing glucose levels and helping reduce energy crashes. And again, that whole thing about the energy, that's all day. Helps manage cravings, support long-term weight control. Together they form, and here's the thing that got me, together, even with the limit MTC, right? MCT, together they form a powerful foundation for metabolic health and sustained energy. Okay, that is what you're looking for when you are consuming food, is you're looking for uh, your metabolic health to create sustained energy. The longer you have energy, the less you want to eat. And with these products, they are functional foods. So when you take that powder and put it in your drink, you're actually eating a meal. It's just a micronutrient meal. Okay. And do you know that now the office of the president with JFK Jr. are now launching this MOHA health reform, and they're talking about the same things we're talking about in these presentations every Thursday. It's mind blowing. So, for whatever it's worth, they are saying that people are metabolically unhealthy and that all these processed foods are destroying our health and that we need to have a better approach. So when I say that we're on to something that is moving and is going to impact people, even your own life, believe it, it's happening. I'm a living witness of that. Okay, next, going on to the recap, we've uncovered the role of food, the pyramid, and the dysfunction. We covered blood sugar basics, insulin resistance, fiber timing, and nutrient impact. We highlighted the real benefits of regulation, better sleep, digestion, and mood cravings. Let's move to the next slide. See, so, and then of course we covered the I just talked about this a little bit, the system and what that's doing. So hopefully you all are on the system. I can't wait to hear some of your testimonies on that, of how that's affecting your life. But for me, like I said, sustained energy. And I did post this week on Facebook. I did a live talking about GLP-1 and the Manitou Incline. So for those of you who went to the Denver event and you climbed that mountain, we were experiencing already through the products the power of GLP-1 and sustained energy. We're just getting it now in a more condensed and elevated form in the GLP-1 system. But if you got up that mountain, you are already experiencing that. And so we're experiencing some nutrients to a higher degree. And just to give some impetus and validation for what these products can do for you, for myself, again, personal testimony in 2022, because I go on a 4-day juice fast every single year. But in 2022, I set aside regular juicing and just used the products for 40 days with the fulvic acid at that time. And I'm telling you, these products delivered every single day. I had reached heights of fitness I never have reached before on these products. And so I'm looking to definitely infuse this in on my next journey. Let's go to the next slide. All right. So here is the heart of this conversation tonight. And understanding this is going to be a major breakthrough in your decision making when it comes to food. If I can stress anything to you, from a personal level. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I have my wellness coach certification, but I consider myself a practical authority in the game because I know that a lot of people will never go on a 48 juice fast. So that's like something on my timeline on my YouTube that is out there. The information is there. So people want to research that and see my day by day, transformation just on products. It is there. I mean, it's already written in stone on the internet. And once on the internet, everybody can see it. So and I'm thankful that it was these products that really helped me in that journey to experience what I did. But here's the thing: sustained energy comes through having processed properly sugar once it's digested. And in this slide, okay, in this slide right here, I'm gonna kind of bounce off my notes. Let's look at number 1 on the slide. It says here that you see a little man that says 31 teaspoons per day. And in my notes here, it says, oh, in regards to that, oops, that's not it. 1 second. All right. All right. So think about that. The average American consumes 31 teaspoons of sugar a day. Okay. I'm talking about high amounts of sugar. And statistically, what they're saying is that there's a book called Sugar Blues. And even back then, people were eating a lot of sugar. But the average American is consuming 150 pounds of sugar a day. I mean, not a day, but in a whole entire year. Okay. So that's crazy. It says roughly that's around like 300 grams or even more for the average American. So that's crazy amounts of sugar. Okay. Now, normal blood sugar, let's go to look at number 2. Normal blood sugar for a body to sustain itself is only 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. That's 80 milligrams as opposed to 31 teaspoons. Okay. And there's a reason why this has happened is 31 teaspoons. Okay. So we look at number 2, we see 1 teaspoon. That's not a lot. Your body can even create that inside itself without even getting it from food, but most of that's coming from food. And it's the type of food that we're eating that's causing the problem in number 1 for us to be eating sugar at that rate. Okay. Now, if you look at number 3 right there, okay, that little wheel with the arrow represents insulin. Okay. And so how does GLP-1 work? Okay. Let me go to my notes on that really quick. Let's see. Okay. So GLP-1, and I want hopefully you guys will keep going over this over and over again for your own information, so that you'll know how your body actually works. Okay. GLP-1, which is glucagon-like peptide, is a hormone produced in the intestines in response to food intake. It plays a critical role in regulating blood sugar levels and appetite. By stimulating insulin secretion, inhibiting glucagon release, slowing gastric intestine, and promoting being satiated, GLP-1 helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels and reduces hunger. Okay. So in a perfect world, if we're eating correctly, we shouldn't have to be consuming 3 meals a day with snacks in between, which is what the average American is doing. And that's the reason why we have this 31 teaspoons in number 1 as an indicator of what's going on. And the only reason that's happening is because we eat and then we digest, and like number 3, the body starts to release insulin. It signals the pancreas to release. I'm sorry. The body releases the GLP-1 from the intestinal tract, and then what GLP-1 does is it signals the pancreas to release what? Insulin. And then what does insulin do? Take the glucose that has been broken down from what you eat, and it takes it to the cell. Okay. Now the problem is the cell has to be able to recognize those receptors. Don't want just insulin, but something must accompany the insulin. And here's the thing that I want you to get. If you hear nothing else tonight, get this. Okay, and you're already getting it in HBM, but I want to break it down on a simple scientific level. When insulin brings sugar to the cell, those receptors will not open up to insulin unless the sugar is accompanied by minerals. You have to have minerals for the cell to open up. If insulin doing what it does brings sugar to the cell, and there's no minerals encased in that sugar, then guess what? We're going to have this cycle, number three, of sugar backing up in the blood, going around and around and around. The more you eat, more insulin is created. Okay. And that's why we get hungry. The reason why we eat and get hungry, because we're tricking our body that we fed it by being full, but then 3 or 4 hours later, you're hungry again. Well, why are you hungry? Because there were no minerals in the food that you ate when it was broken down to glucose. And so that's why it backs up, the sugar backs up in the cell, and then insulin increases in the cell as well. And this is where we get the metabolic unhealthy state inside the body. And then 3 or 4 hours later, either you're going to eat something again, or you're going to snack on something. When you have truly been fed at the cellular level, what you have eaten has minerals in it, active live minerals absorbed into the body and then transferred by insulin to the cell, right to the mitochondria. And then guess what? Food energy turns into cellular energy through the mitochondria. And listen, you have over 221 cell types. So your pancreas has to give insulin to your cell type in the brain, your cell type in your liver, your cell type in your spleen, your cell type in your lung. All of that is responsible for. So imagine now, if glucose is the thing that's supposed to give us energy and it's not getting to all 221 cell types in your body, and what happens? You're going to start going down in metabolic function. And we're going to talk about that in relation to men. And for men, what happens when we're not getting the thing that we need from the glucose? Through poor nutrition, we start having digestive issues. Men start having liver problems, low immunity, bad circulation, hormone imbalance, slow metabolism, right? Low energy, brain fog, accelerated aging, all right? Low stamina, erectile dysfunction, blood sugar issues, inflammation, and being overweight. And overweight is the number one sign of being metabolically unhealthy. Okay. 1 second. Oops. Okay. And so if we look at, let's jump over to number 7 on that slide there. We're still at stopping prediabetes. Sorry, my thing is on. Okay. So doing it again. I'm trying to put my thing on pause. All right. So what is the cause of this? It's the high frequent overeating of carbs in the diet. Okay. And as I talked about last week, a lot of, we're eating breads and pastries. Most of the time, most of the things that we're eating in our food all have sugar in it. There are over like 200 names of sugar. 200. Okay. Write that down and look it up on Google. There are over 200 names of different types of sugar and the way that they come to us. And most of these 200 different varieties of sugar have no minerals in them that the body can actually use to access the sugar to use it for fuel. Okay. And so again, if look at number 4 now on here. So if you're in a pre-diabetic state, your A1C is between 100 and 125. And according to number 4, this can go on for years before it turns into turns into full blown diabetes. Okay. Now, if once your A1C, after a while of this constant cycle of eating, breaking down the glucose and the glucose circling around the blood, high levels of insulin. Well, guess what? At some point, your A1C is going to move. Your A1C from 5.7 to 6.4 is going to go to 6.5, and now you're at diabetes. And then what happens is the pancreas is now injured because it's not going to produce as much insulin in order to do what your body needs it to do on a healthy way, which is to, once the glucose is broken down, transfer that glucose to the cell, and then the cell to the mitochondria. So do you see how that, do you see what's happening here? And so it's very important for us at this juncture in your life, especially where we are in our nation, is you need to go back to garden nutrition by 80% if you're going to get this thing right. Okay, let's move on so we're not spending too much time. Just keep studying that. And from last week, let's go to the next slide. And so here are the minerals that must be accompanied with sugar when insulin is bringing glucose to the cell. Chromium must be on board. You got to have magnesium, zinc, vanadium, selenium, calcium. What are we getting in HBN? We're getting all that. We're getting all of that. So your energy level should be going up if you're taking these products faithfully. I can just tell you from my own experience, that's what's happened to me. And I haven't eaten anything all day. Well, it's 5 o'clock. I'm living on what I had earlier when I took my my GLP-1 system. I'm still functioning on that. Why? Because infused, and not just this product, but in mind, body, and soul, in what is it? Berberine, which is another one. Nourish, you know, all of them are laced with all these precious minerals, which your body depends on. What did Linus Pauling say? Nobel Prize winner. You probably heard this before. Every sickness, ailment, and disease is linked back to a mineral deficiency. Okay. And so the reason why we're metabolically unhealthy is because of this mineral deficiency. You got to have minerals in order for your body to access sugar. Okay. And use it for energy. And once that happens and your body is filled with that sugar, well, guess what? You're going to go throughout the whole day. And instead of your body looking for sugar to empower it, you're going to start burning fat. You literally turn your body into a fat burning machine. Okay. And that's what Miriam experienced on her weight loss journey, where she turned her body into a fat burning machine. Why? Because she is relying on products that delivered her not only the sugar that she needed, okay, or the proper utilization of the sugar, but in her meals, she was using these products that brought the minerals. And that's the key factor here. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next slide. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back. Let's read some of that there. Let's stay on that mineral section there. Let's go back to that. So chromium can enhance and affect insulin. Magnesium helps regulate blood sugar. Zinc, diabetes tend to have a natural deficiency in. Vanadium, especially for men, when it comes to zinc, and this is why our testosterone levels are low, because again, we're just not getting the minerals. All right. Diabetes let's see, vanadium, that's a big one, influences blood glucose and reduces insulin requirements. Selenium lowers the risk of diabetes when you have this in your diet. All right. And then calcium reduces the risk of diabetes by 33%. All right. So you want to, when you're looking at these, again, just be true to the products, while you're making more health changes. And here's the thing. This is about gut nutrition. Okay. So the way that these products are going to work more efficiently for you is if your gut is clean. Now, what do I mean by a clean gut? Now, don't be grossed out by this. I'm going to try to say it in the most, I'm going to try to censor how I say it. But when you have a bowel movement and when your gut is really clean, you will go and have a number 2 and have little to no smell. Literally no smell. If you're going to the bathroom and your bowel smells so bad, that is a sign of being metabolically unhealthy. You're eating a lot of toxic food, and it's not only coming out in your bowel, it's coming out in your underarms and also in bad breath, because it's all connected to the same tube that goes from the mouth to the anus. Okay. And so while you're adopting these principles and quality nutrients from HBN, you need to also start taking the information and the science and the literal teaching of these of what we are our standards, and start implementing them in your purchases when you go to the store. Okay, start making better purchases. Organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, animal cruelty-free. You want to start doing that because the cleaner your digestion, guess what? The more nutrients you're going to have, the better absorption. It's all about absorption. If you want to know why I can go on a 4-day juice fast and it survive on these nutrients and HBN the way I do, it's because my gut is very clean. And here's my recommendation. And again, it's inside of HBN, Heart and Body Naturals, and that is the parasite, the full moon parasite detox. That's the easiest one to do because you're starting to bring your body into alignment, working with those. Working with the over abundance of parasites because we all have them. You can't get rid of all of them, but you can balance them out. But what going through at least 6 of those will get your body to a place where you're going to have a better bowel experience, a better uptake of nutrients, a better experience with energy, and a better experience with your immunity just because of going through that detox, and it's regulated by the moon. Okay, so that's my tip for you on that. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so we see here the different types of diabetes. You have type 1. Usually most people are born with that. Type 2, that's kind of like what we're facing as a nation. Sadly, in this nation, I just want to look at give you a quick statistic here on that, and that is that over 90% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. That means we're moving in because of this lack of nutrients being laced in sugar. When the pancreas brings insulin to the cell, this is what the problem is. So we're dealing with this low energy thing going on. There's another point I wanted to bring out as well. As a result of this, and moving into type 2 diabetes, it says the body doesn't respond to insulin. Let's go over that for a second. Lifestyle factors and genetics contribute. And genetics, that's only 5%. Okay, you're only going to deal with, and that usually has to do with the genetic weakness, not so much how you create disease, because disease is created. Okay, we create our own disease condition by how we live our lifestyle. Okay, that's a truth that is been scientifically verified. Okay, it's more common in middle age, but what are we seeing? It's happening in younger ages. Why? The whole reason for the presidential campaign right now with this Maha a nutritional program is to target the kids. They're worried about the kids in this thing being metabolically unhealthy, and we're seeing now type 1, type 2 diabetes in young adults. Okay, and again, these symptoms develop slowly. It doesn't happen over like day and night. One day you're okay, and because you haven't been looking at your health and concentrating on doing the right thing, then all of a sudden, boom, you go to a doctor, you get a diagnosis. But let me tell you, it's been happening over years. It takes time to fall into chronic illness. The reason why it's accelerating in our day is because we eat so much toxic food. Okay, according to what you're going to find when you go back and you look at the broadcasts on the president's new health program, 70% of the calorie intake of young children comes from processed food. And now when it comes to men, do you know that over 70% of young men are not even healthy enough to enter into the military? Because of this, again, metabolic epidemic, because the energy is not there, because it's not in the food. Okay, so we are in the right place with the right time with the right company to deliver the right product to people once they see what is happening here. And of course, as we live this before people. And then it says what's happening is, okay, the management with drugs. Okay, so let's touch on that real quick. the big O, okay, the medicine O. Before I got on this today, I went in this morning and I just got on TikTok and I just wanted to explore, what people are saying about the GPO1 med, okay, and the meds like that for, weight loss, whatever. And of course, diabetes. Do you know? Now, this is the people talking. This is the people talking. This is not medicine. This is the people talking. Out of all the comments I was reading, do you know I came back with over 30 different side effects from trying to boost GLP-1 synthetically? 30 side effects. This is from people who were in the comments saying, this is what I'm experiencing when I did this. This is what I'm experiencing when I did that. You know what I'm saying? And so 31. And not only that, the cost that they're paying for this is way over the top, way beyond what we're doing is what? We paying a 139 for a little package. They like 800, some 500, some 1,000. And then the side effects that they have to deal with just to arrive at being healthy, it's crazy. So you can do what you want to do. Okay, this is a free country, but realize it's always better to do it God's way. Okay, God put Adam and Eve in the garden, and he said, eat of the tree. In Revelation 22, verse 2, he said, the leaves are for the healing of the nations. Okay, and again, not that the leaves heal, but they provide food for the living body, which is inside of us, and it repairs itself when you give it the right tools. That's how it works, because nothing cures us. Just like when you were in the womb, you weren't sitting there feeding your body this and that to create bone, muscle, brain, tongue, eyeballs. Cellular intelligence from the womb was creating brain, eye, tongue, heart, chest, hair. That was all cellular intelligence without you being involved in it. And when you became conscious, then you became responsible for now taking care of this. But the problem is we've been educated in the wrong way. We eating this and that. We're following traditional ways of eating, but it's everything that is not what we should be doing. And that's the reason why we're in the situation we're in. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let's look at the signs and symptoms of insulin resistance. These are things that are happening. You go back to that chart and look at it. As a result, you may have been dealing with that, or you may be someone that is diabetic or know someone that's diabetic, or you're in a pre-diabetic condition. Here are the signs and symptoms. There's acne, skin tags, high triglycerides, for cholesterol, belly fat, high blood pressure, tired after meals, weight gain, again, which is number one. That's the number one indicator of being metabolically unhealthy. Okay, gout, which is a form of inflammation, low testosterone, okay, in the muscle. Now, us men, sadly, we're dealing with this when we hit our mid 30s and on, and again, it's all indicative of the same thing. It's just we're not eating the right type of food to give our body the right type of fuel. And so the obesity comes, right? The little tired stomach starts to happen, right? And then we're not moving our bowels properly, all right? And then we have these cravings. And then, so here it's talking about low blood sugar, hair loss. So these are the things that, if you're going through this now in your experience, this is the reason why you want to start making these dietary changes, and really sticking to some of these strategies in HBN to bring you up to par. And I would say if you are someone as pre-diabetic, you need to be doing this for like 6 months, really like 6 months, just treat it like, something that your doctor told you to do. You know what I'm saying? Because some doctors on the low be like, they'll tell you like, oh man, what you're doing is good. Keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're not licensed to say that, but a lot of them will encourage you, if you're doing something really good. So I'm just letting you know from experience that this is a good way to just, again, reset. Okay. Reset so you can have that sustained energy that'll take you through. Let's look at the problems and solutions now. Problem, solution, and success. We want to have success. Okay. When it comes to success, I didn't put the information in here, but just Google the top 10 foods that cause inflammation. Okay. Because the trifecta of bad energy, the things that actually lead to metabolic dysfunction in the body, are three things. which are number one, chronic inflammation. Number two, mitochondria dysfunction. When you have mitochondria dysfunction, that means sugar is not getting into the cell to fuel the mitochondria, low energy. Okay. And then mitochondrial dysfunction is what is called oxidative stress. Okay. That means your system can't run if it's not having fuel. And if it doesn't have fuel, oxidation sets in and you start to break down. Okay. And this is what this stress is reactive, damaging molecules in the body together with those. They all work to create this metabolic disease that we're seeing now in the United States. So yes, stick to the products, make those changes in the diet. I recommend an 80% raw food diet versus a cooked food or acid. You can ask me about that sometime. Next slide. Okay, so when you're eating, okay, as we are moving through this and we're trying to make healthier choices by eating fiber first here, you slow down your digestion. You form gel-like substances that delays the emptying process. This regulates the rate at which food is released into the intestine and absorbed by the body. Steadies blood sugar and prevents spikes. Now, what I like to say in that is, like, for instance, what I do when I sit down and have dinner, the first thing I eat is a big giant salad. Okay, all raw. And then I'll follow that with something cooked, a cooked entree. But always start with the raw. Always start there because you're going to have a better release of sugar into the cell or into the body. Okay, that's what you want. All right, next one. Okay, so a good workout strategy is HIIT training or doing some type of resistance training. And there's a reason for that. And it says when you do HIIT training or like burpees, plyometrics, where you're jumping on a platform back and forth, this type of resistance training where you're doing a lot of high intensity is really, really good. And the reason why that is because anytime your muscles are engaged in activity like lifting and pushing, it depletes the excess of sugar you have in your blood. Okay. So exercise is important. It's really important when you take these nutrients too. You have to move. I think there's a protocol inside of this that talks about doing exercise, hydrating yourself and making sure you're moving. The more you move, the more the nutrients moves through you. Okay, you want the nutrients to get to your muscle and your bone. That's not going to happen efficiently unless you're doing some type of exercise. Okay, and one of the best ways to do that is to do some type of high intensity workout. Next slide. Okay, we have here berberine, which is another good nutritional food source that we want to tap into. It says berberine is is considered natural metformin. Metformin is a medication that helps blood sugar but the cool thing about berberine is it acts like metformin almost to its equivalent. Okay. What it can do with blood sugar and side effects. Okay. And you having, this regulation in your body by using this product, again, the body is able to metabolize it and use it to normalize the blood better. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so walking, all right? So after you have a meal, let's say you're sitting at dinner, okay? There's 7 surprising health benefits of walking after dinner, okay? Don't just sit there and go watch the Lakers game or go watch the Knicks after you get through eating. Take your phone with you and go walk and listen to it on the radio or online or something, okay? But why that is important is it improves the digestion. Number 2, boosts metabolism, boosts immunity, regulates blood sugar levels, reduces cravings, eases symptoms of depression and anxiety, and helps you sleep better. So take that walk after you eat. All right, next one. Magnesium. Let's see here. Get my notes. Okay, so magnesium is important, and we have one of the best sources of it here. It says here magnesium is critical for cells that produce insulin for them to work. Okay, again, magnesium is critical for the cells that produce insulin for them to work. All right, nearly every diabetic is magnesium deficient. Because again, what did Linus Pauling say? That every sickness and disease is linked back to a mineral deficiency. So mag is a hack to, again, supporting your body better that way. Next slide. Okay, dry fasting. All right, that's like drinking nothing eating nothing. All right. And you have to be careful with this. I would say 12 hours. You could do that, just kind of feel it out. But you get stronger every time you do it. So why dry fasting? It helps to lose weight. Number one, slows down the aging process. I'm so much a beneficiary of that. Reduces risk of diabetes and heart disease. Benefits your skin, reduces inflammation, improves your metabolism, and improves your brain health. Improves resistance to oxidative stress. So the body will actually go into what is called self-eating. What it does is it doesn't eat your tissue, but it starts to consume all the bad stuff inside the body and flush it out faster through dry fasting. So that's a hack to improving blood sugar. All right. And then rebounding, something that I do and I love. This is one of the top exercises that I believe everybody should be doing. It's considered the best man-made exercise known to man, with over 200 benefits, of which are only 5 here. Literally 200. Your body will literally work better just by rebounding. And I actually posted this on my Facebook page about the benefits of doing this and trying to balance out your blood sugar. Top 5 benefits: lymphatic drainage clears out toxins, waste, and inflammation by stimulating lymph flow, okay, with every bounce. Improves immune support, boosts white blood cell activity, and helps your body fight off illness naturally. Number 3, low impact cardio. Gets your heart rate up without straining your joints. It's very easy on your joints. In fact, uh, 15 minutes on the rebounder is equivalent to running 30 minutes on the street. Also, if you did rebounding for 30 minutes, it's equivalent to running 1 hour on the street. So it literally cuts your exercise in half. It's a total body workout, and all 638 muscles are actually engaged while you're rebounding. Number 2, improves digestion, gentle motion, supports gut motility and elimination. Number 5, it boosts mood and energy. It regulates mood and gives you an energy boost, releasing endorphins, clears mental fog, and helps you feel more vibrant. I'm telling you, this is my number one anti-aging exercise, completely changing the game. And for this one, this is Lumen. This is a personal wellness compass and coach. Okay. And what this particular instrument does is it kind of helps you see where your sugars are throughout the day. What type of fat you're burning? Are you burning glucose, or are you burning fat? It's one of the top things that this Lumen device does. It's something kind of good to have. I would say do a little more research into that. And but I'm definitely someone that's going to try to get this. This has nothing to do with network marketing or anything or that. It's just a product that I found. When I researched, I thought, wow, that is really cool. So go ahead and do your research on that, and see how it works for you. But that's something that you can do to, kind of help watch what you do. So Miriam, you can take it from here.
Okay, well, you guys, please give Troy Monroe some love in the chat. He did an amazing job explaining this all to us. I learned so much, and I think we are now equipped with really making this GLP-1 um, it work for us. So basically, a reset day looks like this. You mix 1 scoop into 8 ounces of water, 8 ounces of water, ideally 30 minutes before your midday meal. And then with the Glucose Protect, you're going to mix 1 scoop of 8 ounces of warm water, not hot. Warm water. Hot water will kind of deplete some of the nutrients. So you just want to use warm water or your favorite beverage. Take 20 minutes before breakfast and dinner, especially if you're going to consume carbohydrates. And then the lemon MCT, X MCT. You're going to shake well before you use that. Take a half dropper before bed. Use straight under the tongue, or you mix it with 8 ounces of water, smoothies, or even coffee. I take it before bed, and it gives me a great night's sleep. And women over 40, you're gonna anybody that's has an estrogen drop, thyroid changes, or cortisol imbalance, you're going to benefit from this system. And beyond the scale, you're going to have more energy, fewer cravings, better mood, and improved sleep, mental clarity, and self-trust. This is a metabolic upgrade not a quick fix. So please, please be patient with it as your
Yeah.
body took time to get where it is now, and it's going to take time to fix it.
Yes.
Research studies and findings, metabolism and appetite suppression with our free Try Me product this month. If you get a 100 CV or more order, you'll receive our pink grapefruit. It is absolutely amazing. It helps with your metabolism. It also helps with what it says here. The research indicated that inhalation, just inhaling it, could help reduce your appetite and increase lipolysis, fat breakdown, which supports weight loss and management. Also, fat dissolution and water retention. If you've got a lot of you're retaining water, uh, pink grapefruit is great for that. And just please, please look out for these side effects because you're going to have these when on the GLP-1 system. Sudden bursts of energy. These are good side effects, by the way. Unexplainable confidence. You're going to just be so confident because you're releasing weight. You feel better. You're going to want more water. You're going to be obsessed with drinking water. Slim possible vibes. Pants might start slipping off your waist, so you might buy some belts. Your mood's going to be elevated. You're going to
Yeah.
have toxins are going to just be gone.
Hmm.
Closet shopping. I did that. That was fun. You're going to find outfits that you put in the back of your closet for when I lose weight. Well, you're going to get to use those. Just put those on. You're going to have a boost in your mental clarity and craving conspiracy. Your sweet tooth may actually get ghosted. And that's a good feeling. That's a
Yes,
really good
good.
feeling. So
Hmm.
be on the lookout for those. And one quick note on our sister company, Go to Sana. We've got some amazing, amazing deals this month with our Myrrh and Sandalwood deodorant. And I believe this is our So Fresh and So Clean kit. And then with our um, oily kit, we have these amazing essential oil blends, the blood orange, the personal power, be intuitive, and afterbite. Afterbite is absolutely amazing. So if you'd like to try that and some of these, grab one of these kits in our sister company at Go to Sana. And right after this, in exactly 3 minutes, we went a little long today, but it was very important that you get this information. But if you are an HBN ambassador with a passion to educate and you want to be featured on a Detox Divas, send Tina Huerman a message and we can get you squared away. And next, we have our Heart and Body Naturals business overview hosted by Coach Marcus Jones and your HBN leadership team. If you like sharing and helping others, if that is your passion, please join our business overview right after this, 8 p.m. Central at www.oneteamonedreamhangout.com with the passcode GO1TEAM. And that's it. So let's reset your health, reset your metabolism. Thank you so much for joining us all and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Miriam.
Thank you all.